This is the Star Wars The Black Series from Star Wars The Mandalorian. We have the Black Series figure of Sasha Banks. Koska Reeves. I meant Koska Reeves. Here's a quick look at the packaging. Figure is extremely difficult to acquire since it comes one per case. Thank you, Hasbro, for that. Also, the figure is packaged with her helmet on, so it's a little difficult to really pick out a figure with good face paint on her. You can clearly see a little bit of her lipstick underneath, so you kind of know that there's at least some paint on the head sculpt. The only thing you can do is really check for consistencies with the paint on the body and all that with other figures. If you can find another figure on the shelf, 2 or 3 of these, you consider yourself extremely lucky, because I know a lot of collectors are after this figure. Okay, so I open up Koska Reeves out of packaging, and the first thing I go for is the head sculpt. I need to check if it's great or are there any defects, and bam! Hasbro strikes again. I mean, the face paint looks okay. She just seems a little bit chubby on the cheeks, but look at that hair. It's a separate piece that they molded, and they need to stick it on top of that head sculpt. And look at this. Look how misaligned this hairpiece is. I can't win. I mean, I know I should be pretty used to it by now, that I will always get the factory defect from Hasbro. That 1 in a million factory defect, it will always land in my hands. This was a mint in sealed box. There was no way for the seller to know what I was going to get, because like I said in the beginning, the head sculpt, the helmet was on top of the head sculpt, and it just sucks. Look at the misalignment. And I'm trying to find a way to unglue this head sculpt. Any tips would be welcome. Please let me know in the comment section. Should I just heat it up with some steam, or it's a little coming undone right here, so I want to remove it and then re-glue it in with super glue so that it won't look horrible. I mean, I just can't bloody win with Hasbro. So after painstakingly removing Koska Reeves' hairpiece, I was able to just align it properly and super glue it again, and it's not that bad. You'll be able to see in the places where I actually etched them out using a pair of tweezers and some tools. You'll see some of the imperfections on the hairline, but it's not as bad as I thought it would look like. So it was a nice, decent save on my part. I mean, come on, Hasbro. It should pass some form of quality assurance or quality control at the factory, right? Improperly stuck on pieces that were super glued. It's easy to see. It's not like it was very minute. It was clearly misaligned. I don't know how they missed that. So anyway, all's well that ends well. It's looking okay. I don't think I'll need to hunt down another one. I think I'm pretty happy with this one. So let's take a closer look at this figure. I just feel that the head sculpt is a little bit more fuller, because on the show I thought her cheeks were just a tad bit little emptier than this. I don't know. I'm sure they got this right. Maybe it's just an illusion when I saw the show, but yeah, for the most part, I think they nailed it. I love the way they painted it, and the plastic that they used doesn't look like it's too oily or something like that, like previous plastic pieces that they used. Okay, she does come with weapons. She comes with 2 blaster pistols, and she's got the backpack, the jetpack with the rocket right here. She's got a helmet, which actually fits nicer. It fits better, actually, with the hair glued on properly. for some reason. I can't imagine why. Because when I first tried to remove it, as you saw in the earlier in the video, it was a little tight. But now that the hairpiece is glued on properly, perfect fit. Very, very cool. Paint apps on the figure came out beautifully. It's a very, very nice, vibrant blue that they used. Very accurate to the show, if I may add. I think Hasbro really nailed it on the accuracy of this figure. And it's really, really a well-made figure. Come to think of it, I think this is an improvement on the Bo-Katan figure which we saw earlier. Now, speaking of Bo-Katan, here are both figures, and essentially they're the same figure. The torso, arms, neck, waist, crotch piece, legs, feet, guns are exactly the same. The only main difference, well, I should say a couple main differences, apart from the head sculpt, are these holsters. Obviously, Koska will only have one holster for the gun. I can't imagine why, but on the show, this is pretty accurate. Bo-Katan had two holsters. She had one. I don't know where she put the other gun. Okay, and they changed the helmet. I was shocked. I actually thought it was the same helmet, but it's actually different. And it's actually a better looking helmet in my opinion. It's bigger. It fits nicely on the head sculpt. See Bo-Katan? Yeah, it's a better fit. I think it's a better sculpt because this one was just way too tight on Bo-Katan. Oh, and it looked like it was cut too abruptly. Koska, no, forget it. It's not even gonna do that. Quick look at the backpack. Bo-Katan's backpack, definitely much better. Nice metallic finish on that silver. This one's a little bit dull gray, but it's essentially the same mold. The gun's the same, but look at this. They both have these movable scopes, which is cool, but they're different. This one kind of reminds me of the Senate Guard. Anyway, but yeah, I think the Koska Reeves helmet is the better version. This was the beta version. This was the actual version. You can clearly see the differences. Look at that detail. The face plate is much bigger. Yeah, definitely a different sculpt. And I thought it was much better. I think they tried to adjust the helmet to the size of the head sculpt because this one was way too tight. They had to improve it on this one. And I think maybe when they repack Bo-Katan, I think they should just go ahead and just repaint this helmet into this because it just looks a lot nicer and it fits nicer than this one. Does the figure have mold degradation? Not so much. I checked the mold. This is a little loose on my copy because I popped it off just so I could fix that hair piece, but everything seems to be tight. A little loose on the shoulders, but most of the hinges, they're pretty tight. Hasbro's getting good at not degrading their molds. Some final thoughts on Koska Reeves. I think it's a great figure, except for that hiccup at the beginning. I think it's a perfect figure. It should get a 10 out of 10 for me. If you're into the Mandalorian series, as well as collecting all the characters on the show, particularly the Mandalorians, this is an absolutely amazing figure to add to your collection. I think it is an improvement of the Bo-Katan figure. The helmet was definitely a much better version, much better sculpt than what we got with Bo-Katan. It's pretty accurate. The paint apps came out great, and the mold is holding up. All we need now is one more Mandalorian to complete the cast of the Night Owls, and we're good to go. Hopefully we get that from Hasbro. Let me know in the comment section what you think of the new Black Series Koska Reeves figure. Hit that notification bell so you never miss out on any of my latest video reviews. And if it's your first time here, please subscribe. Thanks for watching.